Hello, my name is Kim Gardner and I'm the middle school librarian at Fort Worth Country Day School. This presentation was first given at the Limoncello event for rising fifth graders or for the fourth graders from the 2016-17 school year. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about the middle school library program as well as summer reading specific to fifth grade. All middle school students do visit the library on a fairly regular basis. The fifth graders are used to visiting the library from the lower school, and it's the same in the middle school. Fifth grade comes weekly. Sixth grade comes on a bi-weekly basis. Seventh grade comes about once a quarter, and eighth grade comes as needed. Fifth grade students make their way up to the library on their own, where we meet in the library classroom. The kids rotate through their academic classes so they don't come with the same group every time. They'll come with humanities, math, science, and foreign language. Usually that happens on Fridays. Occasionally we have to switch the schedule up, but usually you can count on them coming to the library every Friday in the fifth grade. Each week we have a library lesson. I'm able to support the classroom teachers when possible. There are some hefty projects in fifth grade, including endangered animals and wildflower projects in science. In humanities, they research Egypt, Rome, and Greece. I help them with the research and citation part of this. We work with online databases for the first time and Noodle Tools. Noodle Tools is an online citation generator that students will use through their senior year. I introduce it to the fifth graders with baby steps at the beginning, and then we build upon it year after year. I read 2 novels aloud to the classes each year. I read one in the fall, one in the spring. This year we read Shipwreck Island by Stephanie Bodine and Full of Beans by Jennifer Holmes. This creates a reading community and a commonality amongst all of the fifth grade classes. Plus, it is just really good for kids of all ages to be regularly read aloud to. Students are able to take AR tests in the fifth grade when they come to the library. They usually use their iPads for that. And finally, we talk about books and check out books each week. I'm able to help students who need help one-on-one. My philosophy is I like to hand each kid who asks for help a small stack of books. I give them a short synopsis of what each book is about, and then I tell them to go sit down and take a minute to go through the books and decide which one they like. This gives them still a little bit of control and definitely some choice over what they want to read, and just takes the overwhelming sense of approaching a bookshelf and brings it down to a stack of 3 or 4 books. You've probably visited the Moncrief Library over the years for book fair or other events. It is a large place and it does serve middle and upper school grades 5 through 12. You may be wondering, how is my 10-year-old, my fifth grader, going to find appropriate books in here? We do have books for all ages in the library, but we also understand the importance of guiding the fifth and sixth graders, especially to books that are age appropriate for them. We have what's called the junior fiction section. It's found in the 2 waist-high shelves in the middle of the library. These are books that I really try to keep the fifth graders looking at in these sections. Sometimes they will venture into the regular fiction section, but I usually shoo them back over to the junior fiction section. Occasionally a child will come to me and say, I really want to check out this YA book that's for older kids. And I do my very best to make sure that that doesn't happen without parent permission. And I will ask the child to go home, talk to mom and dad, or even on some occasions bring a signed note back saying it's okay with mom and dad for them to check out the book that was written for older kids. You can tell if your student's book came from the junior fiction section by the yellow J Fiction sticker found on all of the J Fiction books. They are all marked with the same sticker, so that is a good measure of whether or not this book is appropriate for your student. We do have the J fiction books slightly genreified. They are kind of organized according to what the book is about. There is a section for junior sci-fi and fantasy, and those books all have a J with sci-fi fantasy on the sticker, as you can see here on the shelves and on the sticker. And finally, we also have a junior nonfiction section. The junior books have an extra sticker on them. The regular fiction and nonfiction, or the big kid books, do not. They only have the normal call number stickers, these white stickers. Otherwise, the junior fiction, all of the junior books have an extra sticker on them explaining what section from the library they came from. And you can see here, the end of the shelf is labeled with a junior nonfiction sign. A big question each year parents have about going to 5th grade is, how is accelerated reader used in the middle school? It is used in the middle school through 8th grade, so they have 4 more years of it. In the 5th grade, they usually have a book due each 3 weeks. The teachers are very reasonable with their expectations. Rarely do I see a panicked 5th grader who is not prepared for their AR requirement. Plus, they're in the library every week, so they have ample opportunity to get good books. The 5th grade teachers are going to use the AR software really to its full potential this year. They're going to work individually with each student. Each student will take the STAR test within the Renaissance Learning software. That will produce what's called a ZPD, or a zone of proximal development. And then based on that, students will know what level point range they should be searching for when they're searching for their books. This is going to challenge each student at their own level, and it should be really effective. The test, again, I've stated this before, the test can be taken in the library on their iPads when they come once a week. Summer reading. This is new this year for 5th graders. Previous to now, lower schoolers have done reading bingo over the summer, and now they have grade level requirements. All of the requirements are found at this link on the bottom. This is not hyperlinked on this slide. You will have to go to the actual Fort Worth Country Day website and to the library website. Once you click on the library website, you'll see the box down here that's labeled summer reading. If you click on this, it's going to take you directly to the middle school summer reading LibGuide. This is our summer reading LibGuide, and you can see up here on the left hand side there is a tab marked middle school with a drop down menu. When you click on that drop down menu, you will select 5th grade, and it will take you to the 5th grade LibGuide. This is the 5th grade summer reading page. 5th graders will read at least 3 books this summer and take the AR test for them. The tests can only be taken at school in the library. The library will be open each Wednesday from 10 to 1, and students will need to sign in for each AR test they take. The required book for 5th grade is Number the Stars by Lois Lowry. It is many times students' first book about the Holocaust. This story is about a 10-year-old named Anne-Marie who has a Jewish friend. Anne-Marie becomes involved in protecting her Jewish friend from the Nazis who are occupying Denmark. It is a very gentle account of the Holocaust. Students will love this book and probably want to learn more about World War II and the Holocaust because of it. The second book that the kids choose will need to come from the next 5 books on the page. You can only see 3 on this slide, but in the next slide you'll see the next 2. So they choose one of these. The first one on the list is Counting by Sevens by Holly Sloan. Willow is a quirky, eccentric 12-year-old. Her parents are sadly killed in a car accident, and she's supposed to go into a group home, but instead finds her way to a family who owns a nail salon, which is very different from how she's been raised previous to now. It's obvious Willow is very intelligent through the way she speaks in the book. This is a quick and easy read, and it's laced with humor. I will be hosting a book group in June to talk about Counting by Sevens, and I'll talk about that more in the presentation towards the end. The second choice book is The Honest Truth. It is about Mark, who has cancer and decides to run away and climb Mount Rainier. It's a friendship, adventure, survival, and dog book. I'm currently reading another Gemeinhart book, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I think that the kids are really going to like The Honest Truth, and they're going to like Gemeinhart as an author overall. So Be It is the third book by Sarah Weeks. The main character is Heidi, and she lives with her mentally disabled mother. She has an agoraphobic neighbor who serves as their caregiver. Heidi decides to go to New York to find out about her mom and where they came from and why they are where they are in their lives. Her mom only has about 20 words or phrases that she uses. One of them is "so be it." And so Holly's very curious about why they are where they are and wants to know the story behind their family. It's a very, very sweet, touching story. The fourth book on the list is Stargirl. Stargirl is about a girl who is very unique and she's quirky. She's been homeschooled up until the 10th grade. She decides to go to public school, and while she's there, she befriends a boy named Leo. Leo is the narrator of the book, and he tells the story of how Stargirl and Leo both deal with the situation when the students in the school turn on Stargirl because of her different outlook on life. And then finally, Tuck Everlasting by Natalie Babbitt is the last one. It is the story of a family who has likely found the fountain of youth. They have been on the move for hundreds of years. The family must really be careful about who they form relationships with because they really can't stick around and have a long-term relationship with anybody because they realize that immortality is a dangerous thing. So the kids choose one of those 5 books as their second book, which we call their choice book. And then their third book is really what we call their free choice. They can choose whatever they'd like for their third book. They may choose one of these 5 books that are listed here. That is a safe choice. My only advice is if you're going to choose something that's not on this page, which you're more than welcome to, make sure there's an AR test on it. A lot of times brand new books don't have an AR test for maybe 6 or 8 weeks after the book is published. It takes a little while to get that posted. So just make sure that there is an AR test on it so that they don't get to the end of the summer and realize, oh my goodness, I don't have my third AR test for the beginning of 5th grade. I talked about all of this information a little bit earlier in the presentation. It's just, this slide is just reiterating the importance of the AR testing, that 3 AR tests will be taken this summer. They need to be taken at school, in the library, where the kids will sign in so that they can receive credit for the test, and it is going to be due by Friday, August 25th. Like I said, that third book, you need to make sure that there's an AR test for it. If you are not sure that there's an AR test for it, there are 2 ways to figure that out. Well, actually 3. You could just very easily Google the book title and AR points, or you can go to the Accelerated Reader Book Finder. This is the website. Again, this isn't linked, but it's linked on our library website. This is not only a great site for finding out how many points a book is, but it's also got some nice reviews, and it talks about if there are any concerning parts of a book, language, older kids situations, things like that. It's a nice resource to have as a parent. Finally, this app called the Point Scan Free app is really fantastic. It's free. All you have to do is load it on your phone. You can be out at the Barnes & Noble or at Half Price Books or wherever it is you shop for books. You scan the ISBN using your phone of the book, and it will pop up. It will tell you what the reading level it is, how many points it has, and whether or not there's a test, which is very important. Finally, I mentioned this a little bit earlier. This year I'm going to have a book group for each middle school grade level. I'm going to do the 5th grade book group on Wednesday, June 28th from 1 to 2 o'clock in the library. It'll be after summer library hours are over. We're going to discuss Counting by Sevens by Holly Sloan. I'll provide snacks. Parents, I encourage you to read the book as well. You could come and we could all just talk about the book for a few minutes, eat some snacks, hang out, have some relaxing time in the library over the summer, and they could take their AR test too once they've already read the book. So please watch for that email, and it will also be posted on the library website. Thank you so much for sitting and listening to my presentation. Please, please, please contact me with any questions. Come by the library, email me, call, whatever you are most comfortable with. I will be happy to answer any questions. And I look forward to meeting all of your kids. Have a great summer.